Greetings and welcome to another episode of Bermuda's Feel Good Early Morning Show. Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terry Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. And we want to thank you for getting up bright and early with us on this Tuesday morning. We hope you're well rested, you're ready after your weekend. Jackie and I don't know if Jackie and I are well rested. Jackie, are we well rested?
Ish.
Okay.
Like,
I
we're
just had to
closer to
check.
being well rested than not.
And that's actually an even better way to think about life. You're closer to the positive than you are to the negative. So that's what we're gonna go with
Like
today.
that.
Love Jackie's life hacks. If you're just joining us, go ahead and make sure you share this episode wherever you're watching because we're having a very important conversation with our featured guest today. We are going to be talking about cerebral palsy awareness. For those of you that don't know, this entire month has all been about CP awareness. And so our guest of the day is a mom of a CP survivor. And so we're going to be talking with her about her journey and all of that information to help you support the cause of cerebral palsy awareness and for you to see how you can support them, not just in March, but all year on. As Jackie mentioned, it's still Black History Month because we celebrate Black History all year on. now, now let's get into our trend report because in case you didn't know, spring is here. It is starting to warm up in Bermuda. We're still getting, some dampness in the morning and in the evenings, but it is officially brunch season. And so we want to know, what are you looking forward to this season, or what are you not really excited about to be coming this season? Jackie has to tell us about her weekend because her weekend included some things we are looking forward to this spring. Over to you, Jack.
So, yes, it's absolutely brunch season. And this weekend, there were 2 brunches that were put on. Obviously, a lot of the hotels still have their private brunches, but there were 2 brunches put on. One was Lotus, that was by Darren Woods, Rusty G, and Twin Star, Nakai. And then we also had Brunch in the City that was put on at Roses by Akil Darrell. Sorry, Lotus was at Pickle. Akil Darrell's Brunch in the City was at Roses. Both were amazing. Yes, I went to both. I am not ashamed. I had a blast at both. I can't wait. I just wish I had more coins and they weren't on the same day. But yeah, I loved it. I love a little brunch. You mean like a brunch? Like I got to eat and dance and sing. Those are my favorite things to do.
All three things wrapped into one event. Like you can't
Perfect
go wrong.
package.
Jackie
And
will
you get to
always be
dress
there.
up. Yeah, you get to dress up. When's the last time you actually got to dress up? We've been walking around our houses barefoot for the past 2 years. So
This is true. Or in our sweatpants, or in our sweat tops, or in whatever shirt we can find. And Zoom meeting, I will go with.
yep. So no, it's been a great one.
That's cool. I know for me, what I'm looking forward to this spring is definitely the warmer weather. I always look forward to the warmer weather because I'm a spring baby. I love the summer. I don't fancy the winter at all
Do you see how much more tan I am?
already.
I'm so excited.
Like we're just getting into it. I know another thing that I'm looking forward to be quite honest, is having my Sundays back. Oh my God, I love you guys. I love football. But I would like to be able to sleep in on a Sunday because the days are longer. So
Yeah.
I want to be able to enjoy my day in full, but
Without it being hijacked.
without it being hijacked.
It
Absolutely.
looks
So it
on
is.
Saturday. That's why I'm like, yeah, football. But yeah, ending. Love it. But at the same time, I want to see my peoples as well.
Absolutely. So, if you're just joining us, go ahead and let us know in the comments, what are you looking forward to this spring? As Jackie mentioned, she's started the brunch circuit already for us. So, if you're also looking forward to brunches, those are back and in full effect. I feel like there's a few more that are coming in the next couple of weeks that I've either heard about, maybe they haven't put them out there yet, but I've heard about a few that are coming down the pipeline. So, if you like a little brunch, a
I
little
would not be
dance,
surprised if there was one this weekend. I feel like there
I
might be a
wouldn't be
gap
either.
there. I feel like there's a gap. Wait, what's today's date?
Today's the 22nd. So,
Okay. I know that they start in April. I know there's a few like
mhm.
back to back on the weekends of April, and I'm just like, I can't do it all, kids.
I'll have to figure it out. I have to figure it out. One other thing I'm looking forward to about this spring is outside workouts. I don't know about other people, but I just feel like working out in the winter and the fall outside is just not really as appealing to me as in the
It
spring and
hurts.
summer?
It hurts. Like I'm touching my nose because that's where I feel it. I feel it all in my sinuses. I had workout in Kill, so people's just like, oh, um, come with me to my gym, and I'm just like, which gym is that? They keep the AC too high. Like I like to sweat. I like the struggle of breathing in hot air. Maybe it's because I play tennis outside, and it's usually like hot wherever I go. But my sinuses are not made for no working out in the AC.
But so do you have issues in the springtime with sinuses? Because I know some people do and some people don't, depending on where in the world they live. So do you have like an issue in the spring?
Allergies? Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes. I try to be very strategic
Mm,
about where I go, but I am usually like struggling if I ride past somebody in spring and they're cutting the grass
yeah.
or cutting trees. The pollen gets me every single time. But I have this concoction that I drink that usually helps me.
Okay.
Yeah, I try. I know they say taking a teaspoon of honey usually helps with your allergies and all that stuff, but it hasn't worked for me. That's one thing from our ancestors that didn't work for me. So I'm waiting for the ancestors to talk through me again.
The next one. See what the next one will be.
What else you got for me? This one didn't work. Give me another
Let's try
hack.
it again. I actually only developed allergies living in Atlanta, which I thought was the wildest thing because I didn't know. I thought you always had allergies. I thought they were something that you were born with. Come to find out, you can develop them. And if you've never been to Atlanta in the spring, trust me, it rains pollen. Like my car was black. And so if I left my car uncovered, parked, I would come back to a yellow car. And you could try to wipe it off,
It's
but
sticky.
you have to get it washed. Like there's absolutely no way to just like wipe it off and keep it moving. Like you have to get it washed. And because of that, like sometimes the pollen will come through my car vent. So I'm breathing it in inside. It's outside. I'm walking to work. I'm all in it. I had never realized. I felt for people that had allergies because I was like, oh, I don't know what allergies feels like, so I can't really relate. Whew. Living in Atlanta, I can relate. So I don't have it here, luckily, knock on wood. I don't have any bad issues in Bermuda with my allergies. But that would be one thing I would say I would not be looking forward to about the spring because pollen, obviously, it's a higher count in the spring and summer. 10 out of 10 don't like allergies. Mm-mm.
Either.
I never even figured out how to fix it, Like I never figured out like what drugs to take or what
So
remedies to take. I just dealt with it.
mine is I have to take a certain amount of Alka-Seltzer severe cold and flu. So I
Mm,
drop it in water and I chug it and it actually knocks me out. But for some reason, because it's severe cold and flu, it targets here and it just, I guess, relaxes it and brings it
okay.
back down. But I also will sleep for like 2.5 hours.
Just
And then
knocked
I
out.
wake up and I'm like, okay, I feel better. Sometimes I wake up and I have to be like, okay, chugging again, going back to sleep, try this again. And then I wake up and I feel great. But if anybody has any other hacks,
Please let us know.
please let us know because we're coming on that season. And outside and pollen don't really go hand in hand. Like they do with nature, but not with the party season.
Yes.
I
And
was so shy.
speaking of the party season, like day parties are about to be a vibe. Like I feel like the brunches were probably like more indoor because you're eating, obviously. I mean, you can eat outside, it's not a big deal. But I feel like day parties are something that are gonna pop off this spring, summer, because
I
we are
love,
starting to move beyond the pandemic. We are living with our new normal,
yeah.
and day parties were popping before, so they're about to start popping again. And I would like to see us have that experience so we can get to bed early.
That's the key. I like to party early so I can be in my bed by my bedtime. Like,
Exactly.
no later than 10, I'm home and in my bed. But like get me out for 12, 1, and then back home by 6 so I can settle, shower, decompress, and then pass out. I am all for it.
Loves to hear it because I'm definitely all about that as well. If you're just joining us, Jack and I are wrapping up our Trend Report for this morning. We are talking about the fact that the spring season has kicked off. In case you didn't know, it happened over the weekend. We lost an hour of sleep recently. Now we're sprung forward. The weather is changing. All good things are upon us at this time. Jackie and I are going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to bring in our guest of the day. We have Alyssa Smith backstage. She's going to be talking with us about cerebral palsy awareness. So make sure you stick around for the conversation. If you have any questions about CP, make sure you drop them in the comments. Jackie and I'll be right back after this commercial break.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. As a reminder, if you haven't already, please take a minute to share this episode wherever you are watching. In case you missed it, this month is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, and we have Alyssa Smith backstage. She's going to be joining the conversation right now, as she is a mother of a son who is a survivor of CP. So we're going to welcome her into the conversation. As always, audience, make sure you drop your good morning greetings to Alyssa as we bring her into the convo. Liz, good morning.
Morning. I realized that was right there.
No, it's totally fine. Totally fine. Liz, we want to jump right into this conversation now.
Okay.
We know it's CP Awareness Month, and you recently did a collaboration with On Track. Can you tell us a little bit more about that particular collaboration and how it's meant to help bring awareness for our community about CP?
Okay, yeah. So that is solely On Track and my mom. So my mom recently became the manager of the national football team. And so with that, she has created this relationship with Roger, who is part owner of On Track. And last year on CP Day, they were playing a match overseas, and she had the team wear green bibs. And then it struck her, next year she wants to have green socks. And if you know my mom, she's a lot like me. And once her mind is made up, that's pretty much it. And so they came up with the idea. All I had to do was send them what I wanted on them, and then they did everything else. So shout out to On Track for being so amazing and making that process super easy. The goal with it is to bring awareness to CP awareness, about CP, getting people familiar with invisible is what I call them, disabilities, because to the eye, obviously, if you just saw Eason, you wouldn't think that anything was wrong. But ultimately, we all know that he has CP. So it's just about getting everyone aware of what's going on around them, letting them know that these people exist and how they can support them. Yeah.
I love that.
Yes, that's sweet. Now, it's been a long journey. I've watched you. I have you on Snapchat, all social medias. I mean, it makes sense. But what have been some challenges that you can share with us? But not just challenges, some victories as well.
I think the biggest challenge in Bermuda is resources. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we're a small island, and so this community is often forgotten. And I'll be completely honest, before I had Easton, it wasn't at the forefront of my mind. Mm-hmm. So my end game is to change that. So if you follow me, you know that I share pretty much everything that goes on with Easton, from day-to-day struggles to trying to get him into a school, trying to get him proper therapy, all those types of things. So with me, I say it often. I feel like I was the parent that this was supposed to happen to, because I'm not the parent that's going to allow things to continue the way that they are. So that's probably been my biggest struggle is to get things to the standard that I want them. Because if you know us, we spend a lot of time in Boston, and the standard has been set. And so I'm trying to get that same level of care and therapy and support that we got in Boston back home. So anything and everything I can do to make that possible, I am trying to do. And then some wins is, I have so many people who have followed myself and Eason's page on Instagram, and they just stop me and they tell me how amazed they are by him and how they're so inspired by him and how everyone just thinks I'm this great mother. And I'm just like, I do anything that any parent in my shoes would do. So I think that's like the highlight, is letting me know that I am reaching people and people are being educated about CP, disabilities, inclusion, all of it. So I feel like that's my biggest win. So please.
I love that. And one thing I wanted to ask, when you just said, like, a lot of us don't have CP and other disabilities in the forefront of our mind because we aren't personally affected by them. When it comes to the detection of CP, like, how early can it be detected? Is it something that can be tested for during pregnancy, prior to pregnancy? Like,
So
what are some ways we can do some detection?
It's such a vast disorder that no two people have the exact same type. Every person's diagnosis is different. And then they don't typically diagnose until closer to 2 years old. So in Eason's case, we had an idea early out because there were so many factors involved that we kind of made our own diagnosis. But then once you actually get the diagnosis, it's a whole different ball game because now you know, if that makes sense. And so I would say, I mean, it's so hard because, like I said, everyone is so different. So if Eason, we noticed that he was delayed with his development, doing things like sitting up, speaking, his fine motor skills, grabbing things. We just noticed that those things weren't happening. And so then Dr. Google started to look things up. And then we went to our doctor. We asked, of course, they told us it was too early to diagnose. And then once he was of age, they gave us an official diagnosis of spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy. So he has the type that affects all four of his limbs.
Wow.
Sorry, I do have to sit up because you said 2 years. And I'm just thinking about, I help with my nieces and my nephews and I work with kids. And I know it can be frustrating raising kids that have no disabilities. So that takes, I feel like it requires a lot more patience because it's frustrating telling a kid over and over again and you don't even know that they're going through something. So for you to take it upon yourself to start, I love me some Google. But to start your research early, was that
we did. And you literally develop like your own language with your kids. So Eason is nonverbal. I mean, he says a few things, but we have our own understanding. And so I know when he wants something, when he doesn't want something. I can ask him and he'll give me a yes or no in his own way that I understand. So we're figuring it out as we go.
How else are you, for somebody that says, like, you know, because obviously you're trying to get them into a school, how do you educate the teachers that will be working with Eason?
He's actually in school now, but that was a fight that we had to actually get him into school. We found that a lot of the local nurseries heard the word disability and then they were discouraged. And so there was one nursery that did try, and, you know, we appreciated them for even taking the time to figure it out. But then the pandemic hit, and so he had to come home. But they did try to work with us, and he loved it. I mean, being around all the other kids and all the interaction, he absolutely adored it. But it was then that we decided we have to figure something out. And so us, along with his therapist at the time, Caroline, who is the most amazing person that I've ever met, she fought with us to get him into Dame Marjorie Bean Hope Academy early. And so they typically don't accept students until 4 or 5, like regular primary school. And they took Eason at 3, which was a big deal because they've never done that before. And so they took him and he started the program early. And so we're hoping, fingers crossed, that that opens the door and for opportunity for other parents who have kids similar to Eason, who may have the similar journey where they can't find somewhere for the child to go preschool. So hopefully Eason showed them that it's not as complicated as they thought, and they allow it to happen for other parents as well, because that was a very big struggle for us, trying to find somewhere for him to go.
I'm hoping for that as well, because besides the schooling, we know that it's probably a different kind of struggle when it comes to any medicine that he might need or treatment. It can probably be very expensive, as Jacky mentioned. Is this something that like is covered under insurance, or like is there like a cap, like for this a parent that maybe doesn't even realize that their child may be showing factors or symptoms of CP? Like what can they be maybe look towards when it comes to the treatment and support?
So it can be, I mean, depending on your situation. I obviously can only speak on mine. But with Eason, I was already employed at my old job for quite some time. And so when he was born and then diagnosed, it was already covered. Obviously, now moving to a new job, there with insurance, you have to undergo the whole underwriting process. And so now we do have different limitations on his insurance, but we sat down and we kind of mapped it out to see if it would be beneficial for us. And so that was a struggle, because it's like, do I move on? Do I take this new job, even though I'm going to have this insurance cap, where before I had like the unlimited insurance? What do I do? And so that was a struggle that I went back and forth with for a long time. But my new employer and my new insurance company worked with me. And yeah, but it is an expensive journey to be on. Little things like the standing frame right here that he needed, that was upwards of almost $20,000 for a standing frame. And then medications can get costly. But again, I had insurance, so a lot of those blows I didn't feel. Mm-hmm. But there are resources as well on island. If you needed the help, there are resources out there where you can get the help. So I would just say, do your research. And if you are in a situation, hit me up and I wouldn't mind sharing that information with you.
I'm just blown away by the cost of the standing frame.
Same. I'm like, I was going to say $6,000. And then she said 20. I'm like, that's a car in Bermuda. That is. So I'm a little ignorant when it comes to CP and how many people have it in Bermuda. Do you know those numbers? Like, do you have your own little community?
I don't have those numbers for on island. It's very strange. I say it all the time that we as Bermudians are very private people. And so other than the parents that I have met and interacted with from his school, I don't know a lot of other parents in Bermuda, but I have made relationships outside of Bermuda via Eason's Instagram page that have become really close with me, and we share stories together. We go through different ideas. So if one tries something, they would put it in, and then we would all, see if it would work with us. So I built my own online community, if that makes sense, because I find that they're more willing and more open to share things. Mm-hmm. But again, that's just because I believe that Bermudians we're just naturally private people. And so I'm not going to force anybody to share or open up or do anything like that. But like I said before, I knew for me, that was never going to be my narrative and my story with Eason. I was going to blast him and put him everywhere so that people were aware of what was going on and so that they can educate themselves about it.
I love it because everybody has their little community of mom groups. And I feel like you deserve one as well, for you to either share, like, this is what happened today, a positive or a negative or a frustration. Like, sometimes parents sit down and are just like, my kids ate me up today. And I feel like it's nice to hear that you have your little support system community that actually understands what you're going through versus venting to somebody that just doesn't fully get it?
Well, I have this conversation with my circle often, and I
Mm.
explain to them that they don't get it, but some of them, I shouldn't say very few, some of them do, because some of them actually are around quite often enough to see the highs and the lows, and so they get it. But it took us a while. And then just recently, I had a conversation with two of my closest friends. I'm sure they won't mind me sharing, but I had a moment, and there's happened few and far between, but I had one recently where I felt alone in my bubble. And I had a conversation with two of them where I just basically told them, like, as godparents, I would like for you to do more.
Yeah.
It was a hard conversation because I know that everybody has their own stuff going on. But if you know me and the godparent that I am like super involved with my babies. So I would always have my godchildren. I always go to the stuff. I always have somebody's kid around me. And I didn't feel like that was being reciprocated to me when it came to Easton. And so I had that conversation with two of my friends, and it was received well. One of them even expressed that, they just didn't know how to have Easton. And so I explained that to them, and it was very refreshing. I felt like I lifted a burden because, like she said, I just didn't know how. And so once we had that conversation, she actually had him for me. She like took him for a few hours. And I was just like, whew. And like, she didn't, like, he was fine. I was super paranoid. So I was like, how is he? Da, da, da. And he was fine. And then his other godmother actually had him overnight, which is the first time ever he's slept outside of me or his dad. And so that was major, but it was such a relief because we don't typically get that. And so it was good. So my circle, I don't have anyone in my immediate circle who deals with what I deal with, but I do have friends in my circle that understand.
I love that.
One thing I wanted to comment on, or kind of carry this conversation on, because Jacky and I think millennials, our generation talks about mental wellness a lot. I feel like it's like the one thing we are the most obsessed about, other than social media and all the other things that we like to obsess about. You are a mother of two. You are working full time. How do you take care of yourself? You just explained how you had a moment and you did have to unleash or unpack on your friends and just let them know like what you needed. But other than those moments, because I'm pretty sure you, like you say, you don't have them that many. What are you doing to keep yourself together, Liz? Because I know it's not.
I mean, I had a very full weekend this weekend, full of self-care. So on Saturday night, I went to bingo. So if you know me, that is like my thing. And then on Sunday, I went to brunch. And I'm still feeling it on Sunday. So they happen. My self-care moments happen. My free time happens. But when they do happen, maybe I overdo it because I'm still tired from Sunday.
So jump right back into motherhood. So love it. No
real breaks, I left brunch early, and I mean, not brunch. I got home probably like 8:30 on Sunday. Got room, came home, packed lunches, ironed clothes. So like it all came back real quick. I had my fun.
That actually goes into my next question, because what does a day look like for Isan and yourself, or even just the whole family? Because I know Rome helps a lot too.
Well, Rome is his own man, so he does his own thing. But typically in the morning we get up, I put on Encanto. I watch Encanto every morning.
We don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno. But it's like Ethan gets in these things where once he likes something, I can put him down and he'll sit there and he'll watch it. And so that's the thing right now is Encanto. And so every morning without fail, I get up, I put on Encanto. The only reason it's not on right now is because I don't want to hear it in the background of this. But every morning we get up, I put on Encanto, I make breakfast, pack the boys' bags, eat breakfast myself, and then Room leaves. He'll be leaving in like 5 minutes. And then after that, get dressed, and then we're out the door. Right? Yeah. You're not talking today.
Hi, E.
You say hi.
So beautiful. He really,
You say
I'm
hi.
so envious of his eyebrows, like, honestly.
He was born with these. It's so crazy. I've never seen a baby born with thick black eyebrows, and he was born with thick black eyebrows. It was so creepy. I didn't share an immediate picture of him for a while because it was like, he has eyebrows.
No, I have to see. No, I need to see.
And I Googled it. I literally Googled it while I was in the hospital. I was like, babies born with eyebrows. That's really happened.
It makes me think of when you leave your child with the dad and you come back and they've got eyebrows now. And it's just like, I leave you for 3 minutes.
Yeah, he came out with them. It was different. And then it was funny because Ron was bold, like absolutely bold, with no eyebrows, nothing. He was just a bold baby. So I was convinced. I'm like, oh well, Easton's gonna be bold, no heartburn, none of that. So I was like, yo, he's gonna be another bold baby. The complete opposite. He had hair everywhere, all over his face. His hairline like met his eyebrows. It was insane.
That is too precious. I just want to say before we wrap, because I know Jack's going to like to wrap up shortly, but I just want to say I'm hopeful that this conversation opened up a lot of people, not only to CP, but hopefully there's some moms out there that reach out to you that may be dealing with it that can kind of at least talk to you on the side, because I do feel like it would be really amazing to have a local community, and it doesn't have to be public, but I think that would be so amazing, personally. Just me. And I will green today in honor and support.
Yes, and don't forget to wear your green on Friday because it's CP day on Friday.
And I have my socks because they sold out, but I got mine.
I should hit you up.
I was watching the time go down, and I'm like, okay, 3, 2, 1, reload, purchase, go.
It was amazing. We sold out of socks same day, and it was like, oh wow, people are feeling what we're doing, and I loved it. Yeah. And so even I had a conversation with Roger, and he was just like, people really are into Easton. He was like, that was our most shared video and most watched video on our Instagram page. And I was just like, yeah, apparently he's popular. Who knew?
He gives me a lot of motivation to get up, because I'm like, if he's doing it, I can do it. Like, get up and go do what you're supposed to do on my struggle days. But I see him, and I see you have him in his school. And I see you guys having him take his steps. And of course, yes, I'm soft, so I cry.
Oh, goodness. Don't
cry.
I'm so happy.
It's happy to, it's just like, yes, that's a victory. But for those of us that want to help promote or donate anything with resources, reach out, put up posters, harass government for more inclusion, for sidewalks, whatever the case may be, how can we get in touch with you? Is it just hit you up on Instagram?
You can hit me up on any of my Instagrams. I know that we are doing a restock with the e-socks because we got so many requests from people who missed it. So there will be a restock soon. So you can support that way. Again, his school has a charity, Friends of Hope Academy. They pretty much fund things that wouldn't be possible. So camps during breaks, because obviously our kids can't go to the regular camps. So they fund camps, and they have the bus that gets the kids around. So I would say you can support Friends of Hope Academy if you wanted to make a donation. And yeah, I think if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm an open book when it comes to this stuff. I have no problem speaking to anybody about anything. So if you want to, just message me.
We absolutely will. Thank you so much for joining us, E and Alyssa. Definitely, he was the star today for sure. Thank you so much for getting up bright and early with us.
Yeah, you can tell he isn't impressed. He's like, where is Bruno? We're going to put it on, you see, I promise.
Yes. Thank you, Alyssa.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
That was an amazing conversation. Jack and I need to take a quick commercial break. But as we're taking that commercial break, make sure you let us know in the comments your thoughts on our conversation with Alyssa and E. All things CP awareness. Make sure you let us know what you thought about that conversation, as Jack and I are going to be right back.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jacky Lambert. Let us know in the comments what you thought about our conversation with Alyssa Smith, the mother of Eason, who is a CP survivor. She's also the mother of Rem. And we have to get Rem on, I feel like, because I feel like he can show us how to just be.
I need his fashion sense.
He is just.
I'm not gonna listen to the style me. I'll just show up. Just dress me.
Dress me, yo. But let us know your thoughts on our conversation about cerebral palsy awareness. I am people when she said that people have been reaching out for these socks because they missed them. Me, I am people and I am ready. I will not miss this next round. I can't.
I got my purse.
You got your two purse? You always get two purse.
Well, it was one for me and one for a friend.
Okay.
They asked, and I was just like, yeah, sure.
I should have been a friend that asked you. Like, just add mine to your order, Andy.
You should have. I could have gotten it anyway. I'm like, you know what? Probably can have this for her.
I literally, like, when you said you got your order, I was like, I should have told Jacky get me, because I knew you would have been able to probably get it before and then like when I saw you got yourself, like, see. That's what you get.
Kind of remind me, I need to get my socks, and he's just like, yeah, whatever. And then when he brought me my socks, he was just like, I didn't realize she was getting two, so I just slipped another pair in there, and I was like, okay, because he knew I was gonna get at least one. I got at least one from every drop, so it's just like, I'll just put one aside. Yay.
Okay, so I need to just hit Shannon up on his side and just say, hey, whenever you have socks, just put the one on his side. I'm definitely gonna get it. It slipped my mind. But I want to read this comment in from Kathy Rogers. She says, I appreciate the conversation and awareness. Honestly, I didn't realize there was so much that I didn't know about it.
I didn't realize that there were two alike.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that makes it even harder because, or maybe I don't know how to feel about it. Like,
it's one of those things where it's like she can share her journey, but you know that someone else won't have the exact same journey. Like the connection of being a CP mom is probably as far as it could go, because someone else's child could have a completely different experience.
And I know Alyssa says that she's doing what any other parent would do, but she's going above and beyond, and like it's truly appreciated, because obviously you only know certain things that will happen, but to watch her stories I'm in them. Like, you know, sometimes you're like, click, click, click. I'm like, oh, it's Liz. Slide back. Let's see what Easton did today. And I'm all excited. Whether it's good or bad, because, you know, it's even from the bad stuff, it's still a learning opportunity. So it's all a victory. But
I think just her sharing his story also reminds us able-bodied people that, you know, we should too just take our challenges and our victories and with the same kind of love, with the same kind of patience and grace for ourselves, because you can see someone having their genuine struggles and triumphs and it being celebrated. So you should do the same for yourself, because I feel like as we take for granted our accessibility, the things that we have so freely accessible to ourselves, and then you look at someone else, you kind of appreciate it more, but you should be giving yourself the same appreciation, because who knows?
I know it kind of sounds probably ignorant or dumb, but I realized how inaccessible Bermuda was when I was walking down the street the other day in heels. I was just like, this is like hard to do, and this is for somebody that chose to wear heels. What about the that can't make those choices for strollers? And of course, some wheelchairs are wider, or whatever the case may be. And I think we need to do better. We don't have to make these sidewalks ridiculously bigger, but a slope would be better. Those like myself we could walk off the side if need be, but
absolutely. I want to bring in this comment from Bonnie Smith. She says, it has been an amazing journey. I pray God continues to bless I pray God's continued blessings on Liz and her boys. And we second, third, fourth, infinity this statement. Keep letting us know your thoughts in the comments on today's conversation. We're going to transition to trivia time with Terri, which is our feel good vibe of the day. If this is your first time joining us, I'm going to ask 3 trivia questions. And if you get it right or you guess the answer before Jacky, just email us on the email address you see on the screen. It's engage@gooddaybermuda.com. We're in the decade of 2000s because, Jacky and I are millennials, so we got to keep it somewhat on a good vibe for Jacky. This first one, I feel like everyone might get it, but it really depends on if you watch TV back during that time frame. So first question. What documentary television program shares tours of celebrity homes?
My Celebrity, MTV's Cribs.
Yes, girl.
I was going to say My Celebrity Home, but I'm like, no, that's not it.
It's not even a TV show. I can never make it up TV shows to get in. Trivia question. Okay, next one. It's a sports related one. Why was NFL quarterback Michael Vick sentenced to 23 months in prison? You say what?
Dog fighting.
Yes, running a dog fighting ring. Yeah, you're doing good today, girl. You might get 3 out of 3. Let's see what's the third one. We can get you. The infamous Guantanamo Bay detention camp is located in what country?
I actually don't. Is it in New York? No, that's somewhere else. That's what
New York is a city and state, but I'm going to say the question again. The infamous Guantanamo Bay detention camp is located in what country? I think we have to. Oh, look, Rosalind Famous got it. Cuba. Yes, ma'am. It is in Cuba.
I'm like, I actually don't know.
And so did Karen Simmons. So both of you go ahead and email us. Oh, I forgot to tell you why you're emailing us. Email us because you beat Jacky. But we are working on our 1-year anniversary celebration. And so we have some things that we're giving away, some things that we're going to be doing. So make sure you email us. If you email us and you don't get a response back, don't worry. I see the emails. I see them sitting there. It is on my to-do list to respond to let you guys know that I got it. But yes, please make sure you email us. Jack, as we wrap up, how are you feeling about today's conversation?
I think we need to have it more. I think we need to carry on the conversation. We've got more information to learn, absorb, but also give out. So I will be hitting up Liz to get more information.
Agreed. I definitely want to have a part 2, 3, 4, 5, infinity, because I feel like just the more we have the conversation, the easier it'll be for us all to be more inclusive of this, that have what we would call invisible disabilities, or things that we just don't have to deal with on a day-to-day basis because of whatever lifestyle we have. So on that note, Jacky and I want to thank you for watching and engaging with this episode of Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pete's House and Aliana's Restaurant. We trust we will see you tomorrow for more feel-good conversations. Until the next episode, peace and have a good day, Bermuda.